How you doing, everybody? My name is Terry Wilson. Welcome to Off the Mat. Today, we're going to meet Lucy and her husband, John Olivia, who are not only martial arts masters, but they're also masters in the art of Reiki. John, you got a beautiful location. What kind of facility do you have here?
What I like about it is serene, very relaxing. The facility here is we have horses, of course, and martial arts training, and we also do Reiki healing. We love it.
We got a beautiful place for it, my gosh. And up on the hill, you got all the mic wires set up for training. You got a nice dojo down the hill.
Right.
Well, tell me a little bit about your schooling. What's your martial arts background?
Well, actually, I've been in the martial arts now for 60 years. And
you really want to admit that on camera? 60 years? Boy, they go by like that, don't they?
It goes fast, that's for sure. But basically, my philosophy is I want to educate the people that come here to learn. It's not about kicking butt, but it's about more of being aware of your own self. It's going to be real simple. What you're going to do is you're going to absorb the energy of the opponent attacking you. And then once you absorb that energy, the opponent attacks you, you reverse that energy. Mm-hmm. And so they learn a lot of history, first of all, of the martial arts, because martial arts obviously is created in the Asian world. And now the Americans have accepted it over time. And so if they were to learn, for example, a weapon, I give them the history of that weapon. How did the weapon come about? What do you do with the weapon? Also, the fact that the weapon is merely an extension of their own limbs.
Nothing superficial. You get into the depth, the real meat of the martial arts and the training.
Right.
Well, what about your training background?
Well, my training background, I first started back in 1956. I came from France. I was born in France. And my parents did a lot of traveling around the world, went to various countries and whatnot. And we immigrated into New York City. And I didn't know how to speak English whatsoever. So at that time, I was being beat up by gangs. And so I got beat up so much that finally one Asian man came up and says to me, "You want to learn karate?" And then the gangs were watching and say, "Who's this guy?" You know, some Oriental guy who thinks he's something. He picks up a rock, smashes a rock in his hand right in half. They took off running, and you go, "Wow!" You know, and I looked at him like, what kind of a Superman is he? You know, and little did I know, he was a well-known master. His name was Matsutatsu Oyama. And that's how I got started.
That's a great story. So like a lot of people, it started when you were bullied as a youngster.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you got lucky and you met the Karate Kid kind of guy.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's exactly right. And so from then on, you know, as I learned the arts, I continue with other teachers and learn many different styles. It's good to be outside of the box, not into the box.
Yeah.
Because we're everything. We're Aikido, we're Jiu-Jitsu, we're Judo, and we're the striking art. Okay? So all that is incorporated because we're also Chinese. We are Chinese style as well as Japanese style. Okay? Yeah. Because I can't say, well, this style is better than this style and so on and so forth. To me, I just want to absorb it like a sponge. I want the knowledge. Because my feelings like that is that I throw the same philosophy to my students. Close your eyes. You know, so the main thing is three basic things: respect, honor, and integrity. And then the other is discipline of the physical and the mind and the spirit. So they learn that by all means, and they become a better person. Some of the students that I may hear from maybe 30 years, 40 years that I haven't heard. They call me up. They say, guess what, Grandmaster, if it wasn't for you, I would have never been what I am. Today, I'm a doctor. Another person would call, today, I'm a scientist. Another person would call, hey, I'm a security for Air Force One.
And you've got a few of those people training here tonight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Been training 27 years.
What have you gotten out of it?
Self-confidence, experience, intestinal fortitude. That's what the martial arts brings.
It does, doesn't it?
Yes.
Tell me what you do for a living.
I'm director of a financial analysis office at University of California, San Diego.
Is there anything you take from the martial arts that you take to your job? Does one help the other in any way, shape, or form?
Yes, it really does. One thing that I take back is that no matter what is asked of me, I know I can do it because I've been through a black belt test. With the black belt test, the mental integrity as well as the mental toughness that is developed through that process allows me to do anything that I need to do at work.
Okay, so I'm a biochemist at UCSD, and well, what I take out of the martial arts to work is probably a lot of the discipline, both mental and physical. There's a lot of hours spent in the cold room or in the warm room or whatever. So just maintaining focus, even though your environment's constantly changing.
I have some here tonight that, off the mat, they're a totally different citizen because this is what they do,
Yeah, yeah.
and it only enhances their own life. It makes them a better person. So it's the discipline that they have.
No, I've known John for a lot of years. And I remember seeing a picture of you, I believe in a Cossack uniform, on horseback with the old traditional bow. Do you really do that, or was that just a snap?
No, really do that.
Do you really?
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. My wife and I used to play around like that. We get on a horse, we have a sword, we wield a sword, and there may be a post with a gore on it, and cut the gore in half, or shoot the bow and arrow, maybe through a hoop as we ride. So it's fun. It's a fun thing to do. It's a different kind of a challenge because the other thing is the horse has to have a discipline themselves and has to get used to, the arrow being released, for example, or wheeling the sword over the head of the horse because. Yeah, a horse could be,
Yeah. Hey, what are you doing up there? What's that thing going over my head?
Yeah, and the other thing is, what people don't realize that riding a horse is one of the most dangerous sports in the world.
Yeah.
It's because you never know what the horse is going to do.
Yeah.
He could bolt, he could rear, he could do whatever. You got to be prepared, or off you go.
Yeah, yeah. Taking a whole different kind of ride.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, I guess all of this goes hand in hand with the Reiki. When did you get into Reiki? And I'm going to get into depth on this with your wife, Lucy.
Okay. Yeah.
But give me a little sketch of what this is about.
Actually, many years ago, I learned a form of healing through a different teacher, and they call it Qigong healing, which basically is you create your own energy within what they call the Tian, which is the central point of Qi. So you move the energy in that respect. So later on in years, with my wife, she became a Reiki master. And I said, oh, that's pretty good. I like to learn that, So my wife, she became the teacher to me, learning Reiki, because she had learned Reiki, which is a lineage by Dr. Usui, who was the founder of Reiki, Japanese, which means universal light force. And Reiki, what it is comes from the universe or the higher self. It comes to you. You transfer the energy to the person, and Reiki has an intelligence of its own because it goes where it's needed to heal.
And as far as off the mat, You guys have a really interesting way of taking that Reiki from the dojo and the healing prospect of humans to a very unique way of using it off the mat. And we are going to cover that in just a little bit. Don't you dare go away. We're going to horse around with Reiki when Off the Mat continues. Lucy, I got to say, you look fearsome out there on the deck today.
Oh, thank you.
What's it like training with John? How did you get into it?
I started years ago, and my brother was taking karate with John before I met him.
Oh.
And so I decided to try it, and I took to it, and I loved it. Loved every minute of it.
Well, in addition to your martial arts, I guess I should say it's an extension of the martial arts. You are a Reiki master. Mm-hmm. Tell me about that. What is Reiki, and what does it take to become a master level practitioner?
Reiki is a hands-on healing, energy work. And to become Reiki, you would have to go to a Reiki master that initiates you into channeling that energy.
So what are you picking up, if anything?
Well, right now I'm picking up something right here. And I was picking up a lot here. And, of course, in the throat.
Now, when you say picking up, is it like a dark energy, a good energy, or is it like a bad late night movie?
Well, I feel tension in my head. I feel pressure. I feel a heaviness in my sternum, right, the same spot on there. Mm-hmm. And in my throat, I feel like I want to swallow.
So you're kind of picking up what I'm feeling.
Yes.
Okay.
And at the master level, you can just be a master. You can do healing on other people or not, or just yourself and your family. It's also what we call the teaching level, so that you can initiate and teach others to become Reiki.
What I'm really looking forward to, we're going to go out to the North 40 and we're going to do some Reiki on your horses. That's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm. That'll be great.
Okay, well, let's get started, shall we? Here we go. So how many horses do you have here?
We have 5.
And I understand one is a rescue.
Yes, that's Bless, and I got her when she was 3 years old. She didn't develop quite as pretty as the owners wanted, so they called me up and said, come and get her or she's going to go to the killers.
Ah, and you saved her.
I sure did.
And she's one happy camper back there.
Yes.
Now we're going to work on another horse. You're going to do some Reiki on the horse like you did on me.
Right.
Except I won't neigh at the end.
Okay.
So what are you going to do?
Well, with Phil, I'm going to test his body to see where he has some tender points and maybe some heat. And then I'm just going to proceed to do the Reiki energy work.
And he's going to feel the same heat that I felt.
Yes.
And John's going to help us out here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll hold the horse for her. And
Well, let's go get it done.
Okay. This is Phil. And when I first come to treat a horse, I kind of just lightly take my hands around the horse and kind of do some little light palpitations to see if they're sore in any spot. So it just tells me he's got some lower back things going on. So I just set my hands on acupressure points and spots where I feel heat on the body. He is about 23 years old, and I usually give him a treatment about every 2 weeks. And he gets a massage. He loves his massages. And so by putting my hand one on top and one below, I'm actually sending the energy from the top into the bottom and going through his whole body. So I'll work all through the whole body in different points and places. In this area, this relaxes the heart. And then as they feel the energy going through their bodies, they will start itching certain parts of their body. And see, now he's dropping his head. And then the licking and chewing is another form of relaxing the jaw, because horses will tighten their jaws when they're in pain. See how his eye is blinking? He's getting more and more relaxed. I'll be able to go up to his face and get to those other points that I was doing on you. See this here? That a good boy. See, they get TMJ2 right up in here, and so this is a point that really relaxes their faces.
Yeah.
And then running down the legs. Down here, there's a lot of acupressure points, and so if I stay down here on the foot, this is a very calming place too. And so horses that are kind of excited that they'll let me come down here will make them relax and drop their neck. So what we're looking for a lot is relaxation and allowing me to come in to get to those points that need to be healed.
Grandmaster Olivier, Master Lucy, thank you so much for having me over today, and thank you for the session.
Oh, our pleasure.
Been a great time.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you guys. Thank you, horsies. And oh, by the way, thank you. Was that me or the horse? I think it's time for dinner. Any way you look at it, we're done here. We'll catch you next time, right here on Off the Mat.
That's good.